Hello, viewers of the Stop the Destruction of the World program. We are here today to speak about a very important issue for all of us, for all of humanity, which is the issue of energy. It seems we are suffocating in pollution and suffocating in debts and wars and disputes because of this question. Energy, mostly derived from oil, is causing a very serious problem. Because the consumption of energy today from oil is about approximately 75 million barrels per day, or 27 billion barrels per year, and this increases every year. This represents, as you can see, an expense, a global expense of $675 billion every year in oil. Energy refers to the innate potential to accomplish any work, any action. So every movement, every activity comes from energy or represents energy, and energy is necessary to do anything. It's necessary even for our muscles, our body, for the functioning of our organism. The etymological meaning of the word energy comes from the Greek and means in action or work. Norberto Keppe studies a lot this question of energy, action, pure action, and its relationship to pathology, whether psychological, social, or the pathology of the economy, and even the pathology of physics itself, which was founded on very inverted principles and has been impeding the scientific and technological development of mankind. Dr. Keppe?
Today, I am doing a special program in order to show you what can be called the motor of the future. The sound you are hearing now comes from this device here. It captures energy from the air. It's the same principle that the human structure uses to capture energy in order to survive. So look, you can see that the motor doesn't run on electricity. It captures energy through a process developed by Cesar Seuss and Roberto Frascari, based on my book entitled The New Physics, showing that the surrounding energy existing in the air, and according to the discoveries I've set forth in this book, can completely change and reorient humanity. In other words, we can all have that which Tesla called free energy. That is, energy that we don't need to pay for, that is not derived from a power plant, whether it be water, coal, petroleum. I want to say that our work is totally different. Different from this person from England in the past, who practically organized physics as we know it today. Look at his picture.
Isaac Newton, 1642 to 1727.
With Isaac Newton, physics became inverted. Look at this other chart I've got here.
Inversion in physics. First, Albert Einstein. Energy equals mc squared. The origin of energy is coming from matter instead of the other way around.
So, as you can see from the formula, Einstein's idea was to extract energy from matter. If it were like this, then everything, including petroleum, would have already finished up. Even so, petroleum will finish up one day. That's obvious. We are facing a big problem in this respect, as well as the exorbitant price increases, which is creating a very difficult situation for humanity. Now, what I want to say is that this motor you're hearing captures this energy from the air. Therefore, energy does not come from matter, because matter itself is a consequence of energy. So, look at the chart again and see the idea of Aharonov and Bonn.
The origin of energy derives from quantum potentials, instead of the fact that potentials themselves constitute the fundamental energy.
And what do I mean by this? That the energy around us, for example, here in the air, the energy that exists between one planet and another, is exactly this energy that moves everything, an energy of extraordinary powers. And this is the energy our device here is capturing. Take a look now, third on the chart, what I say about the inversion in physics. It's the Kaluza-Klein theory.
Electromagnetism would be the result of virtual fields and particles.
Note that physics always has an opposite notion from ours, because particles themselves are already a consequence of this fundamental energy, which Tesla called scalar energy, and which produces what are called atoms. Now, what is interesting is that atoms have never been seen. And these particles they call electrons and protons are sparks that appear in the cloud chamber, which, according to our discoveries, are produced through the scalar energy that flows into these chambers and appear in the form of fire or light. So, what was the consequence of this inversion in physics? Look what I wrote here at the bottom.
The creation of cyclotrons deriving energy from matter.
And they build huge cyclotrons. But for what? To see if they can succeed in uniting two atoms in order to produce the energy of the sun. And this energy, for example, that they believe to derive from matter, is not nearly as strong as the scalar energy. The cyclotron is a very expensive apparatus that at times has approximately a 3-mile circumference, and it doesn't work. So the human being spends huge amounts of money to capture a secondary energy, which has very little power because it is a byproduct or consequence of the fundamental energy, and so it is of course a much weaker energy. Look at this chart where I comment about Newton's physics.
Newton's first law. Every action generates a reaction.
So Newton's idea was that whatever goes forward has an opposing action that returns backwards, you see. So every law in physics follows this idea of Newton, that for every force, every action, there is a counteraction. And this is totally wrong.